What if your entire trading day was only checking the chart once or twice for 10 minutes? It sounds insane, but that's exactly what this one candle swing setup allows you to do. It's only one time frame, a few mechanical rules, and little to zero discretion. And honestly, it's so simple that even Patrick Starr himself could trade this.
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
And that tells you everything you need to know about this exact setup you are going to learn in this video. So when it comes to finding and executing this setup, we need to be identifying this pattern in the markets. And this pattern is easily identified by a 3 candle swing. And when this middle candle here is the lowest out of the entire 3 candles. And the one candle we're going to be executing on is this third candle here, which essentially is where volume is coming in, confirming the overall move of price, which allows us to have the highest probability of catching the continuation. And just for context, on the lower time frames, all you are seeing is a market structure shift within that third candle as such, and we're looking to capitalize off of the continuation of this third candle, which of course is also going to confirm the entry of this trade, which is going to be your entry at the high of the candle, followed by a stop loss at the low, which allows the trade itself to confirm direction as we are getting involved in the markets. And that is a simple breakdown of this 3 candle pattern. We're going to go ahead and uncover these boxes here. And the first thing we need to be doing is trading on the 12-hour time frame. And in today's video, we're going to be testing NAS 100, as I have already collected over 1,000 trades for this single setup, and I've collected all the data, and I know exactly what works and what does not work for this system, simply because I gathered the data on this system like a mad scientist. And after collecting all of this data, that is when I then formed the risk management rules to allow this to be a purely mechanical system. And as you guys can see, I have plenty of trades to back up the data. And in this breakdown today, followed by the backtesting session, you guys are gonna learn exactly how this works. And if you guys want access to this system, followed by other profitable one candle systems that have been backtested to oblivion, there's a free PDF down in the description. If you guys are interested, definitely check that out. But now back to this breakdown here. What's also essential for this strategy is that we're trading with the overall direction of price, followed by a POI. And what this allows us to do is put ourselves in the highest probability scenarios so we can be consistently smashing wins in the markets. And of course, this schematic here is in the case of buys. So simply you want to make sure you are in an overall bullish trend. And preferably, it's not always necessary, but through my testing, I have found that trading in these POIs will allow you to have the highest probability of price continuing higher. And of course, just like mentioned earlier, we want to be placing our buy or sell order on the third candle, which again, in this case of buys, is going to be this candle here where the volume kicks in after this candle is the lowest out of the 3. And simply, we are going to place our entry at the high of this candle, followed by a stop loss at the low of the candle. And again, as price closes and enters our position, we're simultaneously confirming the movement of structure, catching the continuations followed by price. So not only do we have this third candle confirmation, our entry is securing another form of confirmation, which gives us the highest probability scenarios, especially when we combine it with market structure. And for actually managing this trade, what I have found through my data is that we want to close this position after the next 12-hour candle. This is actually a rule I have came up with myself. I've never seen anyone manage like this, but if you guys come to my Notion sheet here, I tested the first, second, and third candle R's following this third candle here. And all that looks like is, instead of managing at, let's say, 2RR or a relative high and leaving your stop to be liquidated, giving a zero-sum result, we're simply catching the momentum of this next candle and closing our position no matter where this next candle closes. So for example, the trade could be up 0.43R and we are securing the profits at this point. Or the next candle, which you'll often see, will have an explosive move, and that's where we're able to catch consistent 1, 2, 3, maybe even higher RR just by holding that next candle. And on the flip side, if price is to enter us and on this next candle closes maybe somewhere in here, we're only taking a partial loss versus a full -1 on the trade. So what I have found testing this risk management method, we're allowing ourselves to take constant wins while minimizing our overall -1s. And when we do take losses, it's oftentimes maybe a fraction of your overall stop loss. So we're maximizing our profits while minimizing our loss. And that is the exact key for a profitable system. Combine that with the thousands of trades I have collected for this system allows me to put myself in the highest probability scenarios in the market, also dialing in my risk management, which is all fed for me from these data sets I have tested. And of course, for the case of sells, this is going to be inverse. And what we're going to do now is just come up here and we'll do some back testing together. So let's scale up a higher time frame and let's identify if there's any POIs in the market. And as we can see here, let's go ahead and get our handy dandy box tool. Obviously, we don't want a black box as our POI. We'll go ahead and our normal supply and demand box there. And what I'm doing here is simply outlining this demand zone here. And as you guys can see, this candle here, it left a fair value gap. And of course, this is going to be our POI. So now we'll scale back to the 12-hour time frame and we'll see if price wants to hit our zone. All right, beautiful. So we get the tap in our zone. So ideally, we'd want to see a third candle come in here. Doesn't have to take this high. I've tested both variations where we close underneath this high as well as even engulfing the high. Both setups absolutely work. And for the sake of this video, we'll be testing both scenarios. But obviously we have our demand zone here and we are in a bullish frame. So now if we see that swing combined with the third candle's volume coming in, we understand there's a potential accumulation occurring down here followed by the volume. And all we want to do is take advantage of that third candle to see a continuation of price and simply close our position on the next candle. So let's see if we get an entry here. So we get that third candle. All we need to do is place our entry at the open, followed by a stop loss at the low. And keep in mind, these candles are in 12-hour intervals, so you're only showing up to the charts twice a day. And all you're doing is marking out your levels, identifying structure, and looking for a setup. If there is a setup, you take a trade. If there's no setup, you do not take a trade. And the beauty of managing at the next candle, or simply closing our positions, all we have to do is come to the next 12-hour candle and close our trade, which is again why I design all of my systems around timing. Ideally, I don't want my chart time surpassing 30 minutes a day, so I've designed systems to allow me to trade 5 to 10 minutes a day with little analysis and only one single candle. So let's see if we get our entry on this next candle. Okay, wonderful. So we have that next 12-hour candle. So what we need to do, we just have to see where this candle landed in terms of RR. We have about a 1.1 risk to reward. So as we close this position, we are bagging a 1R trade. And I'll go in the lower time frames here just so you guys can see what's going on and the market structure shifts. As you can see, we had our entry here and we had this swing. And of course, on the higher time frames, this is only 3 candles, but you can see in the lower time frame, we had a manipulation of this low followed by the volume coming in, breaking structures. And we had a little pullback here. So this entry simultaneously confirmed price while already revealing to us the direction of the move within our POI and within the overall higher time frame structure. And all we're looking to do is close our position up here and take our profits. So now let's go back on the higher time frame. And now that we have banged 1.1R within the next candle, you would have closed your position on MetaTrader. So we'll delete this here. And of course, as always, on our handy dandy trade journal, we're going to document a plus 1.1 R in the books, and we'll continue testing this strategy. We are still in this bullish frame. We had a rejection off of this POI, so we simply want to maybe look for any pullbacks in here to catch continuations off of this move. And keep in mind, guys, I've tested both with the trend and counter trend trades. Of course, trading with the trend is going to be more favorable in terms of catching a higher win rate. So that's exactly what we'll be demonstrating in this breakdown. So let's go ahead and outline our next POI, which is going to be this candle here that left a fair value gap. We'll delete this one and let's see if we get a tap in there. We get a beautiful tap in here with this candle rejecting off the zone, but we don't want to take a trade yet. We want to see that swing, ideally with this low holding and that third candle coming in with a little bit of volume. And all we're looking to do is just catch continuations off this structural move, understanding we are trading with the overall trend. So let's go ahead and play out this next candle here. Okay, so we have the next candle and this is a beautiful swing. We're only going to look to take the continuation off this third candle. So this is still technically a 1 candle setup. We'll go ahead and make sure everything's pinpoint there. And now that we have this position open, again, you would have waited for the 12-hour close, showed up to your desk, placed your orders at the high and the low, and you're literally done. After you have placed your trade, your only job is to set and forget. You can simply show up in the next 12-hour candle and the result will reveal itself to you, whether you catch a -1 or whether that next candle is in profit and you are bagging your RR for that session. So in total, with getting on the charts, let's say it took you a few minutes to identify your structure and your levels, combined with taking the trade, I would say like 10 minutes tops. It's really that simple. So we'll go ahead and play price, and we have a beautiful entry followed by that next candle. And as you can see, this was a total of 0.43 R. And that might not sound like a lot of R, but keep in mind you are consistently winning with this system. So the next candle might unveil 1R, it might unveil 2R, it could unveil 0.4R, just like this scenario, or it could even grab your order and stop you out. But that is all part of the process. And throughout my testing, there was hot streaks, there was cold streaks, and there were streaks where the true win rate really showed within a given sample size. But as you guys can see, once we're trading with the trend, with areas of interest, the more likely scenarios that we're gonna catch the next candle in profit. So we're consistently winning while minimizing our losses. That is super important to understand. The thing is about NAS that it is consistently trending, and this is the environments that are favorable for this strategy. You don't want to trade in the chop or the mess of price action. You want to catch price when it has clean order flow, either to the upside or the downside. And again, pair that with POIs and there is no stopping you here. So after bagging this 0.43R, we're going to delete that and add it to our journal. And as of right now, we're up about 1.5R, which for me, I normally risk about 1,000 per trade. So this would be up about 1,500 with only clicking a few buttons, and we'll continue playing price. And one thing I do want to note, throughout my testing, I was testing counter trend trades against like POIs. For the sake of the video, we're not going to trade it, but of course we can simply observe how price reacts off that level. Of course, we had a rejection. And in this case, of course, we're not going to be shorting, but we can actually see a formation of a 3-candle swing with these 3 candles here, this being the 3rd candle. And just to prove that, we'll go on a lower time frame and you guys can see what's going on. We have the swing right here, followed by the breaks of structure all throughout these levels, followed by the pullback, which in reality, this is our 3rd candle here, and we're looking to catch an entry off the continuation. So this is a totally valid swing setup. So we'll come back to the 12-hour, and now that we're back on our 1 time frame that we need to trade this strategy, we're going to place our entry at the open there, followed by the low here. And of course, with this position, we're still trading with the flow of the market, and we did tap into this fair value gap here, which is a valid POI. So we'll simply let price play out. Okay, we have a beautiful next candle that tapped us in, and 12 hours later, which is going to be the next time you're showing up at your desk to look at the charts, your job is to now manage and close the position. So we'll take a look here, and we can see this position was about a 2.15R. So that is another 2.15R in the books, plus 2.15. And we'll come back to trading view. We'll delete that, and we'll continue observing price. We're seeing price tap into this fair value gap here. So we have this level to trade off. And if we zoom in here, we can see we do have a 3-candle swing formation starting at this wick here, with this middle candle being the lowest out of these 3 candles. So it's not a super clean setup like you guys saw in the breakdown, but this is an absolute valid formation of the system that I've tested the ins and outs of. So now that we have our structure and we have our fair value gap here, aka our point of interest, and we have this swing candle model here, our only job is to place our trade and piss off for the day. Entry at the high, followed by a stop loss at the low, and we'll see what this next candle has for us. Okay, there you go. And that is the upside of managing at the next candle. We're giving ourselves unlimited upside while minimizing our downside with the 1R we're risking. So again, you might catch a little move off the next candle, you might catch a move up grabbing this high, or you could even catch a crazy move up here, which in this case is bagging, let's see, it's bagging 3.26R. So plus 3.26 RR. And as you guys can see, we're consistently stacking wins, and that is because we're trading with the direction of price using our 3-candle confirmation. And now we'll come back here, we'll close this position now that we've journaled it, and we'll simply look for some more setups here. So let's get rid of these boxes, make the screen all nice and tidy. Perfect. So this technically was a setup, but there was no entry as it did not grab the high. So as you can see, this middle candle is now the lowest. We're in a fair value gap from here to here. So all you want to see is a candle coming in with some volume, and then we'll execute. Okay, so we have this 3rd candle here. Not very strong volume, which again, I have tested this doji setup here. And what you tend to see here is either explosive moves going up, or sometimes it'll just grab the high and then liquidate you. But let's go ahead and place our position here at the low. Okay, so there was no entry there. Like I said, with these dojis, either you're gonna have like a crazy move up or a crazy move down, but the trade did not confirm us here. And that is the beauty of this 1-candle swing setup, is that as we're getting entered in price, simultaneously price is confirming itself. So this right here is not a loss. We avoided our loss by having our entry up here, which again is confirming the trade at the same time. So there's no trade there. We'll get rid of that. And we'll outline our area of interest, which I'd say is anywhere from this candle down to its low. And we'll look to see if there's any type of rejection or swing pattern we can trade. Okay, we completely annihilated that zone, which is totally fine. All we were doing was looking for confirmation. So we'll delete this, and we'll outline our next level here on the chart, which is going to be this candle here. We have a beautiful rejection. So ideally we want to see this low hold, followed by a candle opening here, maybe with some volume, I don't know, we'll see. We have this third candle here, which again, this is a valid swing setup. So what we're gonna do is place an entry at this doji candle here, with stop loss at the low. And even throughout all these trades I collected, you guys can see I even noted the candlestick patterns that I took the trade on, which gives me another data point which I can look back on, so I can see whether a doji candle was more profitable or whether a hammer candle performs better, for example, which all setups are valid. So in this video, we're going to be trading off. So in this scenario here, this is totally fine to trade off this doji candle. And as you can see, there's no entry. So another rule of this system is that we can refine our entry to the next candle. And that is, of course, that the middle candle is still holding. We can continue to refine the next candles as we're simply still in this swing formation. So we'll see if this candle has an entry here. We have no entry there. So we're going to refine it to the next candle. Entry at the high, stop loss at the low, like so. And remember, we're still trading with the trend. We are still in this range here from low to high. And ideally, the bias could be price has a move up here, at least filling up these areas, or maybe even continuing to run the high. But to be honest, we don't really care what price does. All we're looking for is our setups. But once we put ourselves in the frame of structure, we're giving ourselves the highest likelihood of catching a continuation. As you can see, another beautiful 12-hour candle coming in with the volume. This is why I love NAS. It moves so clean with structure. As you can see, we caught an entry off this hammer candle here, giving us a total of, let's see there, 1.75R. So that is another winner in the books. We are on a hot streak now with no losers, which is super awesome to see, but just keep in mind that will happen, guys. You could easily have an entry here with the candle reversing. That will happen, but again, once we're trading in the frameworks of structure, supply and demand, followed by a confirmation that has a confirmation within its own entry, there is no stopping us with this system. And that is why I will be trading this system till the day I die. I backtested the ins and outs of it, and I have all the data points that has formed me this set of rules that you guys are seeing in this very video. So we'll go ahead and delete all these drawings here. Let's see, did we journal that? 1.75R, we certainly did. So we'll delete that and we'll continue playing out price. All right, so we have that third candle coming in. Keep in mind, we have filled in part of this fair value gap here. Totally valid setup. We're still in the frameworks of structure. In fact, we're mega bullish, being bullish on this range and this range here. So all we need to do, handy dandy long position, and of course in live time you'll be witnessing this, and all you're doing is placing your orders on MetaTrader at the high and low of this third candle confirmation, and you're simply waiting for the next 12-hour candle to close your trade. And of course, if you get stopped out, MetaTrader will take care of that for you. But if you come to the chart the next day and you're in profit, it is your job to close the position. Okay, so we have an entry there. So all I did was grab our entry and we closed right below the candle we entered on. So we'll zoom in here. So now that we can get a better view, we'll take the fib tool with 0.1 increments, measure that candle there. We can see it's a little over minus 0.1 RR. So we'll go ahead and document it on our journal as a minus 0.15 RR, just to round down there. But yeah, if you guys are backtesting this, definitely set up a fib with these increments here, just so you guys can accurately measure how much drawdown you were in on that next candle. But we'll go ahead and delete that. Now that we have documented on our journal, we'll go ahead and get rid of this position in a second here. But another thing to note is that we didn't take a -1 here. We simply took a little loss compared to the previous candles where we had major upside. So we're minimizing our losses while maximizing our upside, and that is the beauty of the system. But like I said, we'll delete that and we'll continue backtesting price. Okay, we've tapped in this order block here, as you guys can see, and we have that third candle, a beautiful 3-candle swing. So we'll look to execute at the high, and I want to show you guys the lower time frame here. Let's just see what's going on. Beautiful. So even on the lower time frame, of course, it's going to be in a bullish structure, followed by the swing. As you guys are seeing here, there was a manipulation of the low, followed by volume coming in. No clean breaks of structure, but again, this displacement here reveals to us that price is potentially getting ready to shift upwards, combining with the higher time frame bias. So we'll come back to the 12-hour and we'll let price play out. Okay, so we have that next candle. We're going to simply drag our entry down as such, and we see we have a 0.53 RR, 0.53 RR. Let's not forget the plus, and we'll come back to handy dandy trading view. Get rid of that right there, and we'll continue playing out price. All right, so now that price is retraced, let's understand where we're at in the market, which again, at this 12-hour candle, you just simply show up to the charts and just ask yourself where you are in structure and where the POIs are at. That's it. And then use the 3 candle as your confirmation. As you can see, we're in this range from low to high. Perfect. So we're in a bullish formation. Let's get our box tool and understand that there's a fair value gap here, as well as an order block there. So anywhere within these levels is going to be a very good level to trade off and catch that 3 candle confirmation. And as you guys can see, we do miss this POI here, which is no problem. Throughout my testing, I denoted whether it was in a POI or not. I literally tested everything based on the 3 candle swing, and I simply just filtered the data after and came to the conclusion that it is best to trade within POIs. But in this case, we are bullish on top of bullish. So I definitely want to get involved here. And the fact that we have been on a hot streak, I wouldn't really care if I took a -1. So we'll go ahead and place our stop loss at the low there. And I really love these like little dojis or hammers, because again, we're either going to see a violent move to the upside or just a move taking us out, which would only be a -1. But compared to the upside of catching a fat move, we're catching over an R potentially. So let's just see what happens. Okay, we didn't even get confirmed there. So that's beautiful, right? That's the beauty of the system, no confirmation. In fact, we came down to our initial bias point or our area of interest. So this is all totally fine as well. In fact, it's better that it didn't enter us and it came down. So we'll go ahead and take a look here, see if there's any 3 candle pattern. Okay, so we had a strong wick down taking out this low. We're still in a bullish formation. Now ideally we want to see a 3rd candle open up here, which we will. And again, we filled these levels perfectly. We have this sharp rejection. We have this 3rd candle. We're in the formation of structure. So this is as good as a trade as it gets. Okay, that's the 1st candle there. Let's confirm the RR, which is going to be a plus 0.08. So didn't necessarily lose, didn't necessarily win. That is totally fine. Better than a -1. And let's see if we can squeeze one more example out of Nas today. All right, I'm going very slow here just so we can really observe price and make sure we're not missing any setups. But obviously we're going to need to wait for a retracement, which you get a candle there. And there it is. So as you guys can see, we do have a 3 candle swing formation. This one is a little unorthodox, but I did go ahead and test this. And again, remember, all you're seeing on the lower time frames is the grab of liquidities, liquidating early buyers, followed by the volume coming in, and the entry would confirm price going higher. So this is a totally valid setup. And all we're looking to do is take this 1 candle here, stop loss at the low. Also understanding, we're still in a bullish range here, within this range here. So we are mega bullish. And now that we understand that, we're simply going to let price play out. Okay, yeah, that was a little underwhelming, but yeah, let's take a look here. Let's see how much. Okay, so about break even. So a +0. Wonderful. So I'd say that was a pretty good backtesting session. We'll go ahead and add up the R's here. But again, the good thing about the 12 hours, we're getting 2 trade opportunities a day. So that's only about twice a day you're checking the charts for about 5 to 10 minutes. If you want, you can only trade, one of the 12-hour candles just so your day is like extra simple. But it's definitely worth it to check out the other 12-hour candle as well. You might as well just trade both candles so that way you're maximizing your setups on NAS 100 and you can capitalize on the system to the full extent that I've tested it to. So going back to our journal, I'm definitely going to need a calculator to add this up. I'm gonna grab my phone. All right, and now that I have my phone, we're gonna go ahead and add everything up. So we totaled about 9R on all of these trades, which again, if you're risking $1,000, that's 9K, literally from showing up to the chart twice a day with only about 5 to 10 minutes of chart time. That is absolutely insane. And that is why I will continue to trade like this, followed by the other 1 candle systems that I trade, which by the way, link in the description. But as always, feel free to backtest this yourself and definitely create like a little Notion sheet just so you can document everything. Backtest it to the full extent. Don't just backtest 5 or 10 trades and then come to the conclusion that it doesn't work. Again, if that's your mindset when it comes to trading and actually finding a system that has a mathematical edge that doesn't really require much discretion, then it's gonna be really hard for you to make it as a trader. So definitely make sure you're backtesting properly, making sure you're denoting every single type of candle management, making sure you're documenting every data point possible. So that way, once you have 1,000, 2,000 trades, you can go back, look through the data, see what's working, see what's not working. And that is exactly how I backtest. And it essentially allows me to create any profitable system that I want that again falls in the 1 candle framework and minimizes my chart time. And that is my goal with trading, and that is what I want you guys to have. But anyway, that about wraps it up for today's breakdown. If you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. Again, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.